what am I doing? You have to.
The buzzer goes off when it's time. Okay, I've given enough value. It's time for her to work for it now, and then walk away.
And then you're going to show her your back, and you're going
to give her the gift of chasing us.
Yeah, the gift of missing you.
It's a really good feeling to want to get something that has value, right? Want to chase after it. If it's just thrown right in front of you, you know, what's the fun of going fishing if you drive up or ride up? What do you do in a boat? Drive?
Fish. Float.
Float up. There you go. You float up to a fish market and say, here, hand me a fish. It's where's the fun in that, right? It's the fishing. That's the part. It's reeling it in and letting it go, reeling in.
If you ask people up front, they'll say, "No, I want it now."
Yeah.
But in retrospect, the tension is built. The tension is built and it's released by the gratification of it all.
Yeah. Neil talks about Style talks about cat string theory. Mm-hmm. I remember talking to him about it and about how very critical it is. Just that little, the cat, if you can even throw like a tender piece of food in front of it that it really wants, and it'll even act, whatever. But then if you, dangle it on.
That all started when I had purchased this little laser pointer, just a little one, keychain one.
What was this?
And I had a cat. This is like six years ago, and this cat has never seen a laser point on the floor before. It doesn't see it in nature, right? There it is. You put it right in front of its nose, and it'll look at it. If you don't move it around, it'll just look at it. And in fact, it'll do one of these things. Look at it and then look away, as cats do, right? Now, if you chug it all the way away from it and put it on the wall, it'll watch it go up, but it's not going to feel invested to chase it. You've pulled it away too far. But if you just tug a little bit away, it'll go, and then bring it close, and you can make that cat become invested, even though it hasn't tasted it before, it's never seen it before in its life. The very fact that it kind of, jostles away from you, the way it jerks away, triggers some sort of instinct to chase after that which is, must have value if it's trying to get away from this. It's one of those things that it needs to go after. When you do that properly, not too much, not too little, you can get that cat finally chasing it, and you can put it all over that wall, and it'll be all crazy after it. And that's how we want women to chase us, right?
We talk about,
learn a lot from cats.
You guys talk about calibration. Would you say that so I guess calibration is, you calibrate one move with another move to kind of bring it back down. So if you do an indication of interest, then you might, kind of roll off just a little bit to let them know that, hey, is that a bit like cat string, or is that a similar concept?
It's slightly different.
Yeah.
When people talk about calibration, it's not so simple as just doing a push and a pull back to back. You're calibrating to some reference point. What is that reference point? Good question. It's somewhere.
Of course, it's a good question. You came up with it. All right, that was weird.
Negative Ghost Rider.
All right, that's been old. And
what was I
back to you.
Oh, I was talking about me. Calibration. You're calibrating towards some reference point. What is that reference point? Some people may say you want. I believe the reference point to be is a exciting, exhilarating, emotional state. Usually when you're indicating interest, she may feel disinterest. Ooh, I'm getting it too quick. If you're communicating disinterest, she may feel insulted, as of last night, the great mystery himself, who probably, his game is out of this world, but screwed up last night with a hot girl that I
was drunk.
That I pulled.
Never drink when you're out to play, but I went out to get drunk. I didn't go out to play.
And I did a standard AI switch out, which is I gave him my girl to do accomplishment intro. I started talking to another girl. I turn around, and they're in a big fight. And I'm seriously thinking of getting insurance policy on my AIs.
Yeah. Okay, here's exactly what happened. It's an old standard. You say, what nationality are you? If she says, well, I'm this, and this, and this, and this, and this, the stock answer is, wow, you're father must have got around. And that's the result, right? Well, in this case, she decided that was an insult. Don't know how. I've never had that before. She was in her own little headspace. I don't know what the communications were between, her and her friends before that.
To your credit, in all fairness, when I had opened her and I talked to her, there was no attraction phase. She immediately started qualifying herself to me. And I think that's her way she goes through life. And she's just a person who inherently feels the need to qualify herself.
Maybe she has a little chip on her shoulder.
Exactly. So the slightest the slightest teasing really rattles her hard, and yeah, that wasn't off. That was an oddball.
Her response did not trigger a pang of emotion in me. It was simply, there's a woman with no sense of humor.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you guys about this. I'm glad you brought it up, and we'll definitely get back to Los Angeles. But Kelly and I were at Stingery Saturday night. And and a girl bumped into me, and
accidents.
What a surprise! And I was like, whoa, you're a little clumsy there.
Right.
And I realized it right away when I saw her. She wasn't cute enough, and it really made her angry.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking. We had a debrief afterwards. Said, okay, well, what went wrong there? First, well, I had alcohol in me. That's first. Maybe I miscalibrated. Who knows?
Never drink and game.
Never drink and game. If you're single and you're looking for a woman, some men will use alcohol as a crutch, right? As a tool, and it really is not a legitimate tool for handling your approach anxiety, right?
Yeah.
I certainly, at 35 years old now, if I'm going to hang out with my friends and have a drink, that's one thing, But if you're proactively looking for a woman, you're new to the city and you're trying to build a social life, yeah, it's best not to drink. You can always act drunk. Then you've got plausible deniability.
Drink